Order on September 10th, 2025, 6:31 p.m. Present with us on the committee are Councilors Vacan, Councilor Bartley, Councilor Jenny Rivera, and Councilor Israel Rivera, myself. And in council chambers, we have Councilor Carmen Ocasio. Entertain a motion to take up the first item.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The first item is filed by Councilor Jordan and Councilor Vacan, order that the City Council adopt the attached substitute municipal modernization ordinance. This was referred back to council, from my understanding, to committee, well, not back, because it was never in committee, so to committee so that it can, I guess, have conversation and be somewhat talked about. So, Councilor Vacan, would you like to take the lead on this one?
Well, thank you. So the first thing I'll say is I have a point of confusion because we have two legal forms in front of us. And there was one legal form filed in June that got sent to committee. So I'm wondering which one it is. Is it the one that says new KJ edits, or is it the other one? Because we should get rid of one of them.
Why? What should we get rid of one of them?
Well, because we either have to work from one and recommend it or the other.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think we could work with both of them and move them both forward, and whichever one succeeds moves forward. I don't understand why only one would have to get moved forward.
Well, the reason I'm looking for clarification on it is because they're essentially the same with some small differences, but they're just one version and another version of the same document. They're not.
So, Attorney Bissonette, would you like to clarify some of the confusion, or can you clarify?
I'm not sure I can clarify, but I'll try to be helpful. The initial document that was forwarded on behalf of the mayor is the original. And I believe you have legal form for that, as well as legal form for the version that was a result of the Kevin Jordan edits to the original. So I'm not sure what your intention is. You could work from either or neither in this case, since you have both before you. Or you can take parts of one and parts of the other and combine them into something that allows you to obtain a 2/3 vote for an ordinance change. I do know members have suggested their interest in combining collector treasurer, and you could even take out, if there is a section in either of those concerning combining collector treasurer, you could even take that out, codify that as an ordinance with whatever edits you want, and just use that as the sort of placeholder going forward. So at least there's something in place for January. But that's just a suggestion. You have both documents. You're free to act on either or neither, as I said. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Councilor Vacan, I see Jeffrey's hand up. Jeff?
Because we have a separate
Go ahead.
order that's not on the agenda tonight as far as combining treasurer collector. I think it's tabled in committee to do the combination.
And that's a charter one, or is that ordinance too? It might be both, right?
It's ordinance.
Jeff, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, so just to clarify, so the one that just says one is the one that the committee approved back in June, I believe it was. The one that says KJ edits, so those were, he made some additional proposed tweaks after the June 30th special meeting that he wanted the committee to consider. So it seemed appropriate that you had the one you already approved, but had the one he wanted to offer additional changes to, so that you could compare and see like what changes, if any, you wanted to make based on his proposals.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So if you
Go ahead, Councilor.
want me to, my main issue with this, which, I mean, we're kind of just repeating ourselves at this point. We've had so many meetings on this. But my main thing is that it's adding too many positions and too much money into the local government where people, in terms of paying their bills, their fees, their taxes, are already overburdened. And this would be adding another roughly $250,000 to the already stressed budget. So my motion for either one or both of these would be to take out the comptroller, which has never, ever been discussed other than it showed up in here. And I've heard, and this is only through the grapevine, that with these new positions, there would be no change in personnel. That would just be the same people that are in our city government now in the different positions. So I would think we could just address those kind of changes within the regular budget and not as part of a modernization act if positions wanted to be upgraded or in that way. But then again, it's not anything that's been formally presented. It's just sort of been word of mouth. But that's my position. So I would make a motion to take out comptroller from the Modernization Act as one committee item to consider.
And what page is that on?
Well, it's listed as a grade 13 on the last page with a salary scale provided. And otherwise, it is,
Oh, section 2-293.
yes,
So your motion is what? Just,
eliminate section 2-293
okay, and that goes for,
and grade 13 comptroller on the last page.
2-293. Let's see what it is. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and there's 2-315, so there's, okay. Well, I'll second it for purpose of discussion, but I think that, well, if I could recognize it, I just got my hand up.
Councilor Barton.
Thank you, sir. So there's a lot of pages to this document. The only way we're gonna get through this, in my opinion, is go through it page by page. It's a pretty big document, and I think Kevin did that. I think Kevin went through it and made his changes, and I think we should give him the courtesy of going through it, page by page, and whether you wanna do the whole enchilada tonight, or you wanna take it piecemeal, I don't know. So, I mean, I think, I'm pretty comfortable with Kevin's edits, but not all of them. And now we have a motion on the floor to kind of dive right into the middle of this thing. So, I mean, I'll hold off on voting on that if you want, but I think we should either go through this thing, or, I mean, I'm not prepared to just vote for it as a whole, one way or the other, but.
Well, I can withdraw my motion for now and defer to how the chair would like to go through it.
Is that what you're doing? Withdrawing the motion? Okay. So I guess we could do that page by page. But what I would say is, let me look at the agenda, see if there's anything else. There's the item 2, item 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are not necessarily all pressing. So yeah, I mean, there's nobody here. Right? There's nobody here, right, for any of these?
Oh, I see Counselor McGrath on Zoom, so we'll
Yeah.
have to do our
Yeah, I'll do
whole
that.
thing.
Thank you. So then, yeah, we can do that. Go one by one, and if we don't finish the agenda tonight, we'll just finish whatever we didn't finish today. We put it on the next meeting.
Okay.
So, give me 1 second. Welcome, Counselor Meg McGrath Smith. And since you're online, I'm gonna read out the script in a sense. Motion for the purpose of this meeting. Motion to take a roll call vote for that. For the purpose of this meeting, would be applicable to all motions to remove an item from the table, place items on the table, package items, or suspend the rules unless there is an objection.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. So if we're going one by one, and I guess we'll look at each page by page then. Jeff, are you able to pull that on the screen? Just for those that are online, if anything, to follow along?
Yep. Working on it right now, actually.
Thank you. So, just starting with page 1, section 1, division 1, entitled General Article 3, Departments of Chapter 2, entitled Administration of the Revised Code of Ordinance of the City of Holyoke, amending hereby further by adding the following language. From what I've seen, I've kind of looked over the first page a couple times already. I don't notice many differences.
And I don't,
But if anyone notices any differences, it would be great to help point them out, so that way we can move faster along, but,
Well, all Kevin's are underlined. So
Okay.
They're
I don't see anything on one.
not on page 1.
Okay.
Don't see anything on page 2, page 3. My first one's at 2.92, it's 2.4, page 5, that's where I am.
right.
One, two.
So the first one,
Where do you, I don't see underlining.
yeah,
You keep going, you'll see it,
it's,
on Kevin's.
yeah, on Kevin's. Gotta see what page this is now.
So page 6 is where it first starts with underline, I mean, the pages aren't numbered unfortunately, but
I guess let's start with that page, just to see what the difference is in the underlining here. It looks like
Oh, there's 5.
on D, he added,
E
he,
on 5?
I think he added a D here. The Chief Administrative Financial Officer need to be a resident of the City of Commonwealth, or I'm on the wrong page.
Which,
oh, what page are you on? I mean,
Yeah, I'm on the wrong page. My
are
bad.
we on?
well, I'm on page 5, but there's no changes for Kevin, I haven't changed it. Proposed.
4.
On this page?
Oh, that's page 6,
Okay.
yeah.
But
What are you looking at, Linda? What page? So that's page 6, the one you're looking at now.
I can't even see. Can you zoom in a little bit, Jeff? My bad. Because that's Kevin's online. So that'll make it easy.
Yeah, appears to be.
Yeah.
And the letter C.
D right there, where it says Chief Administrative and Financial
Selection.
Need.
That's page 6, yes.
Let me find page 6 on the regular one.
okay. Okay.
Okay, here we go. So it's. Right there, boom. Okay. So for D, on the original copy, it says the Chief Administrative and Financial Officer need to be a resident of the City of Holyoke when appointed, but shall become a resident of the city no longer than the end of the first contract term, or the extent required by law. In the event of failure to become a resident of the city within 2 years of appointment, an extension may be granted by the majority of the city council. And he changed it to be granted by a 2/3 majority of all members of. That's going to be a problem because I'm not.
Oh, so he's just saying all the members instead of full.
Right.
All right.
But I'm going to say all the members of present and voting. So, like, it's going to create an issue and conflict because I don't.
Well, I'm not even on that.
No, I know you're not.
But if you, okay, well, do you want to give us,
But we'll go to yours. Go ahead.
well,
What page are you on?
page 5, bottom, section 2-292.
Page before.
So, just to lay it out, the mayor shall appoint subject to confirmation by the city council. So, my motion would be the same as Kevin's, or the same as any way you want to do it. I don't know what the problem is with with a two-thirds majority of all members of city council. That seems like the way we've always done it. Two-thirds of members, there's 13 of us, so you need 9 votes.
But it's not. But so I haven't always been here. I've only been here for like going on 4 years now.
Yep.
And we just changed the rule where it was kind of president voting not too long ago for particular circumstances and situations. So, and we ran it through ordinance and it actually got voted in. So for me, it's like we were working in a direction to move in that kind of direction, and now it's kind of going backwards. So that's where I stand. You know what I'm saying? Just my own personal
So if you
piece.
could just explain how that works in practice. So how do you envision that working, just so I can understand it better? So two-thirds member and voting. So tell me how so 13 of us got elected. So if there's not 13 at the meeting, just those who show up, that's will you base the two-thirds on that?
That would right?
And
Yeah.
what's your rationale, if I may?
What do you mean? What's my rationale?
Well, there's 13 members of the body. 13 people got elected.
13 president voting.
Well,
If you're not there, then you can't vote.
no, I understand that, but there's still 13 members. So why? So your way, there's a moving target. So if there's only 12 people show up,
It's not a moving target. It's 2/3. 2/3 is a
Two-thirds
percentage.
members
It's a
and
fraction, isn't it? It's not a consistent number. It changes depending on how many people are present.
that's right. So it is a moving target.
No, 2/3 is the same.
But two-thirds of what number? Two-thirds of
Two-thirds.
those showing up.
We're
That's the part that's
So
moving.
the thing is that we're not saying 9. We're not blatantly outlining and saying 9 votes is needed. That's not what we're saying. We're saying 2/3. So if we're saying 2/3, that's the fraction. If it ends up changing because there's less people or more people, that's a different argument. But if we're saying blatantly 9 votes, then we say blatantly 9 votes. Don't say 2/3. If you know what I'm saying. There's a reason why it's a fraction. There's a reason why that is. Yes or no?
No, because the number of city councilors could change. That's why you had it at two-thirds.
Right.
That's right. So the total. Well, why? I don't know why this is. Why I don't know why you're laughing, but I'm not trying to be difficult.
No, I'm not.
Two-thirds. There's 13 of us elected.
Mm-hmm.
The way you're doing it, if 11 people show up, is 2/3 of 11. The way I'm saying it, it's the membership is always 13. So the number's always going to be 9.
It is not
no matter what. It's going to be 9. So that's consistency. If the total number of the members shrinks at another city council, say we took a plebiscite and it shrunk to 11 members or 9 members, it's still going to be 2/3 of that total body. So the way it's set up now, it's always been consistent. 2/3 of the members elected.
That's not what it says, though.
Well, that is what it says. But your way, you want to have it a moving target for some reason. Now, I don't care, but I think you have to admit that it's a moving target as opposed to just saying 9. 9 votes is always 2/3.
But you can
That's
say
consistency.
But you can blatantly say 9 and it wouldn't be no confusion. But okay, Councilor Bacon and then Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you. I just want to clarify that our current ordinance, in terms of changing an ordinance, says those members present. It doesn't say present and voting.
Okay, present
It
then.
says
My
present.
apologies.
But.
Semantics.
But this is yet again another ordinance change. And what we want to do is confirm our rule, our long-held city council rule that has, up until one ordinance that was passed with 8 votes, had always required 9 votes to pass an ordinance. We have only passed one ordinance in the history of my involvement on city council with fewer than 9 votes.
Okay.
So this is a proposed ordinance, and so this proposal is to confirm our city council rule, which has never been changed.
Okay.
That's the intent of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So I would make a motion that we accept this amendment in the ordinance. If we're going page by page, right? We have to go item by
We're
item.
on page by page.
So I'll
yes.
make a motion that we approve the language defining the members. That's right, D.
I don't hear a second.
well, where are you making
D.
the 2? Sure, the way Kevin has 2/3 of members. Yeah, of course. I absolutely second that. Certainly, I do.
Under discussion, Councilor McGrath-Smith.
I think my difficulty with this, similar to what Councilor Rivera said earlier, when this vote came before council, I believe, and I'll be stand corrected if we have a different, if folks have a different memory, but I believe it was only myself and Council President Tessa Murphy Marmoletti that voted against the ordinance change. And I think there was a sense at the time that they just wanted to, folks just wanted to have clarity on having it be 2/3 and it being of voting, you know, of present or of the membership, but let's be clear and be clear on what it is so that it can't have different interpretations. So it's just, it feels a little bit like Groundhog Day in that we had that conversation. I know it came up many times in ordinance prior to me joining council, and then came up for a vote in council. And this body, not including myself, voted for this change. And now we're being asked to sort of through a very different process and lens to, quote, correct it back. But this has nothing to do with the municipal modernization piece. We're trying to create a finance department. We're not trying to change other ordinances that we don't like, that this body created. So that to me feels like a distraction from the good work that is here. I would like to make a finance department. I'd like us to work on creating, additional financial controls and responsibilities and roles that make sense. These other things seem like it has almost nothing to do with that. It feels like it's a way of making changes that people would like to see made happen and see if they can get them through. But this was a vote that happened in council this very term, and people voted for it. So it feels a little bizarre. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? That's on page 6. Yeah, number them because they're not numbered. So the motion is that we accept the language presented by Kevin, and Kevin's addition, or Councilor Jordan's addition of the municipal finance, and that reads, an extension may be granted by a 2/3 majority of all members of the city council versus what it read before, which, let me find real quick so I can read it out. I'm at the number of my pages too. If you're careful, that reads by a 2/3 majority of all the members. Oh, it already says it here, but apparently I guess not. I don't know. So, be granted by a 2/3 majority of all the members of the city council. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Nay.
And opposed.
Roll call vote then. I only hear 2 noes, 2 yeas. What were you?
No.
No. So let me do a roll call vote just to be clear. And then I don't have to do the online stuff no more because you're not online anymore.
Right.
Councilor Vacan,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
No.
Councilor McGrath Smith,
No.
Councilor Rivera, no. 3-2, it doesn't pass the changing of the language for item D.
We go back to where I was originally, which is 2-2921A, please.
What page?
Well, the pages aren't numbered, but
5.
it's page 5.
Yep, thank you.
It says in there, the mayor shall appoint subject to confirmation by the city council. It doesn't give any kind of defining language, whether there's majority or 2/3. So my motion is to make it 2/3 of all the members of the city council.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, I mean,
Aye.
my bad. Yes, second, all in favor?
Right?
I'll say no. I'm just gonna do votes moving forward instead of just doing the ayes and the nays.
Sure.
So Counselor Jenny Rivera,
No.
Counselor Bacon,
Yes.
Counselor Bartley,
Yes.
Counselor McGrath Smith,
No.
Counselor Israel Rivera, no. 3-2, the addition to the section does not pass.
Well, okay, so do you want to make a majority? What do you guys want to offer? It just says by confirmation by the city council. So you want to leave it undefined?
So to be honest, Counselor Bartley, the original document was worked on very vigorously with a group of us, and some of us are actually fine with the original document as it was.
It's
So,
undefined.
so,
To confirmation by the city council.
so,
You want to at least make it a majority vote?
Can I ask a
Counselor McGrath Smith.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to, if I could, ask a question of Solicitor Bissonnette around what confirmation is for comparable roles.
Counselor Bissonnette.
It would not be comparable, this position of capital would not seem to be comparable in scope to anything, except maybe the Director of Public Works, I think, in terms of what comes under the umbrella that would be created with this finance department. So in that case, as you establish it, you can determine whether you want a simple majority, or you want a 2/3 vote for confirmation. Don't believe, and I'm just going on my 4-year knowledge here, I don't recall anyone else having 2/3 confirmation, but senior members may understand that differently, but I just don't recall right now anyone else needing a 2/3.
Thank you. I'm just looking through Municode now, and I see again and again, purchasing director, subject to confirmation by council. That line is used a lot as I'm just scanning through. Said appointment shall be confirmed by city council, director of parks and recreation. I don't see where tax collector confirmed by city council. Like, I see that language again and again in our Municode city ordinances that are here. I don't see it named here specifically in ordinances for other positions that they are a 2/3 majority. Maybe Solicitor Bissonnette can confirm this, but my hunch is that confirmation means a majority. And I'm looking through and I'm not seeing a 2/3 requirement here. And in fact, if I remember, again, my first term on council correctly, every time we've been asked to confirm someone, when we name someone by vote, it's the first person that has a majority that gets the position. So that would, again, mean that all of these are confirmed by majority. Thus, it would not make sense to create a condition that makes this not a majority. So yes, I support keeping the language as it is.
Thank you. Are we all set with this particular item?
I didn't hear a motion.
No, I got my hand raised.
Okay, Counselor Bartley, my bad.
Yeah, I think, I strongly disagree. I think it does make sense. If you look at the place where we just voted, in the language that you want to keep, it says, in the event of a failure to become a resident of the city within 2 years after appointment, an extension may be granted by a majority of the city council. So I thought it might make sense to have consistent language throughout this particular ordinance. That's all I'm saying. If you don't want to go to 2/3, you should at least clarify what it is you want to have in terms of be consistent. So whether it doesn't make sense to somebody or doesn't make sense, that's fine. But I don't think you have to call that out. I just think it's just a matter of being consistent in this particular language, which I didn't write, but somebody else wrote it. And so if you got majority in one part, you should spell it out as majority in another part. Simple as that. I'd rather have 2/3, but because this is really a really prominent position, important position, and it has to do with just very unique. So to say it doesn't fall in line with everything else, fine. But to say it doesn't make sense, unfair. I think it makes a lot of sense because of the uniqueness and the importance of the position. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're moving on to the next one.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion, then I'm gonna make a motion that, that we change, let's see, the mayor, in 2.9, my motion is at -292, that, the mayor shall appoint subject to a majority of the city council, the CAFO. So I'm gonna say insert the words majority.
Second.
Under discussion. And I guess I would say I don't disagree, Councilor Bartley, in the consistency piece, but I also don't disagree in that if we're confirming someone, usually when we confirm someone, it's just that's that one-time thing. So whoever has the most votes wins. So it's a majority regardless, I would say. But it's not the same as when we're taking a majority vote of just like someone getting a raise or something different, as in we're not just all picking, oh, today we're choosing Israel Rivera to be the city or whatever position it was. You know what I'm saying? It's different. But I get what you're saying in the consistency piece. Councilor McGrath-Smith, I saw your hand raised.
Thank you, Chair. I understand the value of consistency, and my point earlier was just that it seems, I do think these are two different issues. So for me, it is apples and oranges. The first one is just confirmation. The second one is extension. It's effectively granting a waiver. And because it's, extraordinary circumstances that we would say we're actually allowing you to not, do what we are saying you have to do here around residency. Because of that, it made sense to specify that even a majority can extend it, even though that seems sort of extraordinary to allow someone to defy an ordinance. And that's why it says majority there, and I think it should stay that for clarity. Thank you.
So, anyone else? On the motion is that we add in majority of the city council into the language for consistency and clarification as to just for the confirmation. I'm gonna do again individual votes just because it makes it easier. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
So you're saying that this motion is to remove majority from where it says the extension?
No.
No.
No, we're on
It's
292.
it's still the other one, the one that we were just on, the one where
Still on the same one.
right, and instead of doing the 2/3 by all members, it's just incorporating majority of the city council because it never said that before.
I think it's
Yeah.
I don't think it's wrong. I just also don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. No.
Thank you. Sorry.
So on the vote, you took it out, Jeff?
So I'm just looking to clarify. I thought we were on
We're
this
we're still there.
paragraph here.
Yeah, we still are.
Okay, so we're adding in a majority of
The council.
right here.
Yeah, you were correct.
Evie.
Attempting to.
Okay,
Yeah, you were correct.
all right, because I thought somebody said we were on the other part, so.
No. You were correct. That's cool. So I'm gonna take the vote. Councilor Bacon,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley,
Yes.
Councilor McGrath-Smith,
Yes, sure.
Councilor Jenny Rivera, Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes. So by a majority of the city council is incorporated, it passes 4-1 for section 2-292, item 1. And let's move on to the next one. Let's see.
So is this part here, D, have we changed that?
We voted on that and it didn't pass for it. So the language stays the same as whatever it was before, I would say.
So taking out the 2/3 part?
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
what's that?
actually,
We didn't vote on that.
Yes, we did.
We did?
We
Yeah.
voted on all of the members.
Oh, I
2/3
Oh, yes,
majority of
Jeff,
all the
you're right to
members.
remove
It
that.
didn't pass 3-2.
Okay.
So
Oh,
what-
no, we didn't, that's right, we didn't approve that, that's right.
Yeah.
Fine.
So
Just leave it, yeah, just-
what I would say is just, Jeff, just whatever's the original language, just leave the original language.
Yeah, just in A, we had a majority.
Just remove all,
Or yeah, just remove all the members of.
Okay, yep.
And that was on the next page, right? Section 2, council,
Okay, Kevin's next.
school, school committee. That's the next one is on C, right? That one right there. Hold on a second. The steering
Mr.
committee.
Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, it was my understanding the committee wanted 2/3 to approve an extension of the waiver for time to become a resident for the CAFO. And the only dispute was whether or not it was all, 2/3 of all the members or 2/3 of the members present. So I don't think 2/3 should have been struck, paragraph D.
It was.
Oh no, it's not. It should be struck
Majority,
too.
isn't
Nah, it should be struck too. They're both. He has them actually both slashed out.
Well,
This and that, in case you don't see it.
I do see it. I'm just wondering if for that waiver, you wanted 2/3 vote.
No, majority.
no, just majority.
It's a majority for the waiver, okay. Just checking.
Correct. Councilor McGrath Smith.
No, that was it.
Okay. So then you go back to where you were at, Jeff? Which was the city council shall appoint 2 persons and director of internal audit shall each appoint 1 person to serve on the screening committee. The mayor shall appoint 4 other members in the screening committee, 2 of whom shall have expertise in municipal management, specifically in the area of finance. So for C, schools committee, school city council director, internal shall appoint 1 person to serve on the Counselor. Oh, okay. So I have to. So Counselor Bacon, you go first, because hopefully you can help me break down the logic of the
Thank you.
purpose of the 2, and then I go to you.
So the reason that school committee was redlined is because the schools were taken out of the consolidation.
Yeah.
Originally, this was proposed as the grand consolidation of the entire city. And then somewhere between one meeting and another meeting, all the schools were taken out, which fundamentally changes this act in a huge way, given the large size of our school budget. It changes this fundamentally, but that is the reason why that's taken out of the screening committee, because it has nothing to do with the schools any longer.
Counselor McGrath Smith.
Yep, exactly what Councillor Bacon said. Just wanted to name that I think this change makes sense given the shifts to the school committee, or to the school budget being largely removed. I think it makes sense to do this. My motion would be to approve the change.
Here, second.
Yes, I'll second it, the way
Under
the way
discussion?
Kevin has it written, yes. That's fine.
And okay, so then motion, seconded, roll call, under discussion, anyone else before I go for the vote? Okay, roll call vote, Counselor Bacon,
Yes.
Counselor Bartley,
Yes.
Counselor McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Counselor Israel Rivera, yes. The change or addition, the edits, are approved, 5-0 for C in section 2 of section 2-92. Oh, this pen don't even work like that. Illegal. So we're at E now is the next one. E, in the absence of chief okay, so he has, in the absence of chief of administration, is administrative and financial officer, or while the process of appointing a CAFO is proceeding, the mayor shall serve as the acting CAFO until such time as a new CAFO is appointed and confirmed. Here it says, in the absence of chief administration and financial officer, while the process of appointing CAFO, the mayor may appoint an acting CAFO for a term of no more than 60 days. Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. So the rationale behind this is if this is being marketed as a change in structure to stabilize our financial department, this idea of an interim or acting person just flies in the face of that. And right now, it's the mayor's responsibility to do it. And so the mayor should be the CAFO until such time, should this pass, a CAFO is appointed. Because appointing an acting CAFO does not accomplish what this has been purported to do.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
I'll make a motion, we accept the change as written.
Second.
Under discussion, Councilor McGrath Smith.
Thank you, Chair. I have concerns about making this change. While our current mayor has a background in city management and in municipal finance, and one would hope that the electorate would always return us such a person with that level of experience. The reality is that we've had a variety of mayors, some of whom come in with a lot of financial knowledge and others with other strengths. I don't think that it necessarily always aligns. So I am concerned about making that choice because I think I would hate to see our city, certainly under someone's leadership, plunged into not having the financial management experience that we need. I think we all know what happens as a result of that. Things go wrong, right? And suddenly we're being audited. Suddenly there's real financial issues that we're being investigated for down the road. So I don't think I can support this change as written. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a way that we can write it in a way that it can be supported? And I only ask that because I appreciate the perspective you're bringing forth, Councilor McGrath Smith, but if it doesn't change, it would still fall on the mayor regardless, right? Because that's what it is already. So, and I'm not saying that's correct or whatever it is, but like that's already what it is. So it's easier to just say, then we're just handing you that task or that responsibility. But like, if there's a way, I feel like to say that whoever's the treasurer collector or someone else that has that background can step up or like help out and work in collaboration with the mayor on that to make sure that we're backing ourselves up. Because it's true what you say. If there is a mayor that comes in and they don't have a financial background and there is no CAFO, then the situation becomes one of them relying heavily on their department heads to help them get through this process.
I would do it.
Councilor Bartley?
So in there it says the mayor shall serve as, in Kevin's, shall serve as acting CAFO. Why don't you just change it to the mayor may serve as acting CAFO? And then that way there, the mayor's got the option. So the mayor can say, I'm gonna be the acting CAFO until such time as the council approves the person, or not. It's really almost the same way as it is right now. It just changes the perspective a little bit. Because the way it's written, it says, or while the process of appointing the CAFO is proceeding, the mayor may appoint an acting CAFO. So, I mean, it says that the mayor may serve. The mayor may serve as acting, or the mayor may. It just gives the option to the mayor. Mayor may serve him or herself, or the mayor may appoint an acting CAFO. So the way it's written right now, it says it doesn't really specify that the mayor. So it kind of takes the power out of the mayor's hands a little bit. So I think that's where he's going with it.
Do I hear a second? I'll second it under discussion. Councilor McGrath Smith, because I saw your hand raised.
Thank you. I think that I appreciate the time limit in the original language, that it says the mayor may appoint an acting CAFO for a term of no more than 60 days. And that may be saying to the treasurer collector, I'm appointing you to step into this role in the meantime while your deputy is now taking over your role. That may very much be what happens. Or it may be like what we've seen happen in engineering. where our assistant, we keep calling Victoria Poole our assistant city engineer. And in title, in some ways, yes, she's filling in that way, but she's being paid through the consultant services line. It looks different. So I appreciate that the original language in E creates a firm limit, but also creates a lot of flexibility in terms of how it could be done, who it could be, because what if this happens when the treasure collector is vacant? What if this happens when, right? We don't know. We want to create something that has enough flexibility that under a lot of different circumstances, we can make the right choices to make sure that the finances of the city are structurally sound. So I like the time limit, and I like the flexibility that allows the mayor to appoint someone maybe internally, or maybe to use like a consultant to fill the gap while they are going through the hiring process.
Awesome, thank you. Anyone else? So the motion was that we will alter shall serve and change it to may serve as acting CAFO until such time as new CAFO is appointed and confirmed. So we'll do the vote. Councilor Bacon,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley,
Yes.
Councilor McGrath Smith,
No.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
No.
Councilor Israel Rivera, no. So it doesn't pass with the addition of the shall to may, and we'll leave the language as the original document read.
There are no changes on 8.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So just to clarify, the changes that are shown here by Councilor Jordan are not going into effect?
They are. No, not not his changes. No, the ones that are striked out. It looks like
Okay.
the mayor may appoint. No, where it says may appoint and acting CAFO.
It's the original language.
Yep.
Do you want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, I can read it right here. I got it. In the absence of chief administrative and financial officer, or while the process of appointing CAFO is proceeding, the mayor may appoint an acting CAFO for a term of no more than 60 days.
Okay, I've got it.
I think we might just have to add the word may, Jeffrey. The mayor may.
Gotta vote on it.
Oh, it's already there
Oh, it is.
on the language, the original language.
Mayor may appoint
Got it. Thank you.
an acting CAFO. Okay.
All right, we go to the next one. How do you have one screen moving and one not? That's cool. Okay, there you go. Go up real quick. I think we missed one right there. This is express D.
Oh, yes.
Right.
I'm sorry.
If the CAFO fails to provide the certification of subsection C above within the 7 days after a request for such certification from the city council or mayor, the appropriation, order, financial transfer, ordinance revision, or borrowing authorization may nonetheless be approved by a 2/3 majority of all the members of the city council. But only if the absence of the certification of the CAFO is expressly documented, noted in that order of vote. So what's edited here is you change the word from noted to documented.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Under discussion, hoping there is none. None. Awesome. So Councilor Bacon,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley,
Yes.
Councilor McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
and Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes, pass 5-0. All right, we go to the next one. H. Board of Assessors and Treasurer Collectors shall be appointed by a majority vote, may be removed for cause by 2/3 majority of all the members of the City Council, upon recommendation of the CAFO. That's interesting. The CAFO comptroller and director of purchasing shall be appointed by the CAFO and approved by the mayor, subject to the confirmation by majority vote, and may be removed for cause by 2/3 majority of all the members of the city council upon recommendation of the CAFO. So, Councilor Vacan, just in case, do we have, just from my own understanding, is the purpose of just striking out upon recommendation of the CAFO?
So the idea is that the position is appointed by the city council. And so it shouldn't require a recommendation of the CAFO if there was an issue with the appointee of the council.
Okay, but just pointing it out, just on the bottom of it, it also says subject to confirmation, majority vote, and cause 2/3, and then it also says upon recommendation of the council. So so I'm just trying to understand, like, the removal of one, but not the removal of others.
So the Board of Assessors and the Treasurer Collector are appointed by the city council.
Okay.
But the comptroller, as this states, and Director of Purchasing are appointed by the CAFO. So
Okay.
it's a different appointing.
I get what you're saying now. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So I get it, but like, so are we saying that we don't want no recommendation from the CAFO in general?
No, so for the appointees that are appointees of the council.
Yeah.
We're not looking for a recommendation from the CAFO, but if it's the CAFO's appointees, then we would be voting at the recommendation of the CAFO because they're the CAFO's appointees.
I get that piece right there.
We wouldn't jump over the CAFO.
No.
that we're under.
I'm just trying to understand that, like, if the CAFO comes to us as a council and has a, like, they really feel like there are some strong candidates out there that they'd like to recommend, it sounds like we wouldn't want to take them up on their recommendation.
You mean relative to the Board of Assessors and the
Yeah.
Treasurer Collector?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think there's anything that would restrict communication. This is just the matter of what would initiate an action.
Because right here, just like I feel like the language, and again, it's just me asking questions, because the language feels like the planning board, right? Where they can give us a recommendation, but we don't necessarily have to follow it, in a sense. That's what I've been told before in the past.
I think because it says shall in the first line there, and then it says upon recommendation later, effectively what that sentence does is
Makes it,
it happens.
Makes it dependent upon
upon
it.
the recommendation of it, it shall happen.
Oh, okay.
Which means that if it isn't recommended by CAFO, it also kind of makes it seem like
Like it never happened.
we can't act
couldn't
unilaterally to
happen.
do it. So it does
Right.
make sense to remove it.
See, this is the point.
But it doesn't ever prohibit somebody from communicating a concern or an issue.
right.
in
Which
any
could
event.
lead someone to be removed for cause, which is in line 2. So
Okay.
I think it's fine to remove.
There we go. So then they get the motion for this particular edit to go through.
I'll make the motion to approve the edit.
Do I hear a
Second.
second? Let me do. Okay, Councilor Vacan,
Aye.
Councilor Bartley,
Yes.
Councilor McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
and Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes, that the upon recommendation of the CAFO gets stricken out of the original document, or that we run with Kevin Jourdain's recommendation.
Under J, I'll make a motion to approve the adding of a hyphen between decision and making.
Okay, so for J, it's just the adding of a hyphen of decision making. I heard a second from Councilor Rivera. For this one, I feel like we can do an all in favor.
Just an edit.
Exactly.
All right, we'll go to the next one. There we go. Right there, section 2-293. Comptroller, Councilor Vacan.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, my proposal is that we eliminate section 2-293, and that whole position should be considered in a separate document or not considered at all, since my understanding is that the people in the positions will not change. It's just moving the deck chairs around and changing the positions and their definition and their grade. And I don't think that is a reorg. I just think that is a restructure and a raise mechanism, which I'm not saying the person doesn't perhaps deserve it, but I'm not seeing where there would be a search associated with this, or that it would be an external process. So I'm thinking it doesn't really come under a reorg per se. But that's just, and again, this is not something that's been put forth formally. It was just mentioned in certain meetings that have taken place relative to it, in the context that, well, nobody would be losing their job. They would just be moving from one position to another position, which didn't sound like a search. So, if we need new positions because we need more skills, that's one thing, but that's not what this sounds like. So that's my motion.
Second.
Under discussion, Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you. I've heard similar things to what Councilor Bacon has around certain folks. We're not going to fire everyone who currently works for the city in financial roles. That some of those folks, of course, will then be moved into sort of parallel or similar roles. But I do think that it's important to keep this section of the ordinance, because in the reorg, once you lose one piece, there are other like self-referencing pieces that no longer work. Because there are then other, roles and responsibilities that were given to this person, that then where would they go? And I will name that there's a few in here that are that seem very important to our work on council. If you go to page 11, at the bottom of 11, underneath.
Can you reference the number
7.
of the letter?
Yep, 7A and B, under requests for information and annual reporting. It says the comptroller shall provide an oral or written assessment or both, as the city council may request, of the current and future financial impact of the cost of any proposed appropriation order, lease arrangement for a term in excess of 30 days, collective bargaining agreement, or borrowing authorization, particularly but not limited to, as such cost item would relate to the continuous provision of the existing level of municipal services. And B, to the extent reasonable, this assessment shall include such analysis or other information of a financial nature as it is to justify the approval of the city council. That to me is more than what we are currently getting. And I know our finance committee does yeoman's work to ask great questions and to ask for information. But right now, that information primarily is verbal between themselves and the people that they interview. It's not in a written record. It's not easily accessible to the public or to other members of the council unless you watch the videos or attend the subcommittee meetings. And I, for one, really welcome that we're saying this is now expected of this role, because this role currently, as it's created, does not expect this. I cannot ask for this information and know that in ordinance it says it is required. They have to give us this information. And I think this is a really important step in this financial reorganization, because we shouldn't be being asked, hey, do you want to accept this? This is a great grant that we're going to get through the state for 80% of these school roofs, and we're only going to come up with 20%. Yeah, let's go ahead, vote for it. Can we? Is that actually a good financial choice to make? There's no physical documentation backing up that request that says that what the impact would be of us having to come due on those loans over time and what the impact would be on our city. So I really think that the language that's in here under 7A and B, and then further down after that, is really important. So I don't want to see us lose the comptroller section here, not only because I think that it is an important role in this reorg, but because the language in here is important.
When we're referring to the language that's in the document, are we referring to the edited version with Kevin Jourdain's edited version, or to the original one?
This is the original language that I read out loud, and it's the same in both.
Yeah, except that he added something on his at the end. Right here it says, prior to the appointment of any comptroller, the CAFO shall make an evaluation to determine if the position is warranted on full-time regular basis, or if the position shall be consolidated under the duties of the CAFO. And you're saying that you would prefer it to be just the original language. that was originally put forth.
Honestly, I would love to have this almost as a separate conversation. I was just responding to the original motion around removing this
Okay,
section.
all right.
as a whole.
My bad, I moved a step
But I
ahead.
would love to come
You got
back
that?
to
No.
this edit if we choose to keep this section
Yeah.
in either version.
Got you. Counselor Barley, then Counselor Bacon.
Yeah, it's, you look at paragraph 5, powers and duties of the controller. Have the powers and duties of the city, it's the same as the city auditor, except if it conflicts with the duties of director of internal audit. It's a redundant position. It adds nothing to this. The CAFO does everything as it is. So you've got a director of internal audits, and you've got a CAFO. Those are the two key components. Having a controller, the controller is a CFO. That's all it is. So now you want a controller and a CAFO? I mean, there's just redundancy galore here. I don't see how it makes any sense whatsoever, especially if you read the powers and duties of the controller. It's already taken care of. So to me, it's kind of a pretty simple cut. I think it would make it a lot more palatable for those who aren't super inclined to this as it is, but I think it would make it a lot more palatable. But that's why I support the motion. Thank you.
Counselor Reagan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this comptroller was just a grab of the structure of Springfield, as was this entire Modernization Act. Counselor Jourdain and I cleaned out all the extraneous language. It even included language from the receivership of the city of Springfield. And this comptroller language came right along with it. The city of Springfield is 3 times the size of Holyoke, and this structure reflects the volume and complexity of the 3rd largest city in the state. Holyoke barely makes the definition of a city at this point with 38,000 residents. So this was just simply something that was maintained in the revision that came straight out of Springfield's organization. It is too much for the size of the city. We have created more departments that have 2 people in them, and it contemplates taking payroll out of treasurer collector because we're combining treasurer collector and then making another department that has like 2 or 3 people in it. So it's a big government growth grab, which puts another big burden on the taxpayers. It's not needed, and if we are, and I don't accept any of the arguments that I've heard over the last year, but if we are to accept the argument that we need this extremely skilled extra CAFO, why on earth would we tell the CAFO who he or she has to have as his employees or her employees? If they are the expert, why would we not defer to them to build their own department? And they would be fully capable of coming to us to say, this is the analysis, this is the cost, this is the savings, da-da-da-da-da-da. Why are we sitting here pretending we should know what the CAFO's department should look like? I just think it's an overreach in every way that you can look at an overreach. And we don't know better. Assuming we get a CAFO, I would hope the CAFO would know better. But that's my take. Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess for me, on the particular comptroller situation, I guess for me, I'm on it's 50-50 to me. Like, I understand the purpose of the comptroller, and I understand how much more functional our government would be, right? But I also see that it is another position we're adding on, and it may be another cost, and it may cause issues or strife in getting some of this passed. So for me, it's like I'm not necessarily married to it, but I have to say I do agree with the way it's phrased, with the way Councilor Jourdain phrases it here, where if it is needed, the CAFO does have the ability to come to the council and say, yes, I do need this comptroller now that I've been on the job and things have grown and things have changed. And when that happens, there's already a plan, there's already a position, there's already a role set out for the person. The person that's the CAFO doesn't necessarily have to break their back doing all that work. When you're doing this work and you're trying to reorganize, or at least this is what I'm learning in my public administration classes, right? The idea is that you create a strategic plan. You come together, you assess the situation, you work with different departments, you look at other communities. So one of the communities we looked at was Springfield. You can't just draw straws out of a hat and just make something up. You have to refer back to something that's concrete and solid, that's actually happening and something that's working. So the comptroller piece, when looking at the Springfield design, yes, the community is bigger, but they were in receivership as well. They had to go through certain situations and circumstances to become a successful, or a not successful, but a well-oiled machine as to what they are today. Maybe not as well as people would like it, but it's better than what they were at one time. But ideally for us, it would be nice to be like that. So I understand where it's like nice doesn't mean that we have to have it, but these are just words. This is not necessarily saying that we're going to have the position. So for me, I in a sense, not to say that I want the comptroller to come on right away, but it's just to have it built in and to have it strategically built in the case that the position does come up. And when it does come up, or it can come up, it fits right into the system that is being designed. It's not a problem to have that, because regardless of the matter, if we don't have them, the CAFO is going to assume all the responsibilities anyways. So if it gets to a point where we can hire someone and we need that extra body to make government more efficient and effective, I have to say that I agree with this language here, but that's not what's the vote. The vote is what you said, but go ahead, Councilor Bacon.
So thank you. So I made the motion I made because most of the amendments that Councilor Jordan has offered have failed. So I made the motion that I wanted.
Yeah, no,
and
I don't
if it
disagree.
fails, it fails, and then we'll go on to the next one.
No.
That's why I made the motion the way I did.
No, I don't. No worries. I was just saying the reason why I was going to vote. That's all it is. So anyone else? Okay, we're going to do the vote, Council, and the vote is just striking the comptroller position from the Modernization Act in totality, in a sense. And then, so Councilor Bacon?
Yes.
Councilor Bartley?
Yes.
Councilor McGrath-Smith?
No.
Councilor Jenny Rivera?
No.
Councilor Israel Rivera? No. So striking the position in totality does not pass.
So I'll make a motion that we adopt the language under A, proposed by Councilor Jourdain, that says the CAFO shall make an evaluation to determine if the position is warranted on a full-time regular basis, or if the position should be consolidated under the duties of the CAFO.
Second.
Under discussion. Hope there is none, because we kind of, all right. Then on the vote, so the vote will be that we accept, go ahead, Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Sorry, I was just taking that in. If we're under discussion,
Yes.
I'm okay with the second edit, because that actually something I meant to bring up to Councilor Beacon earlier. Once we have the CAFO and we'll be able to ask regularly for advice. I don't think we need this in here, because this is what the work of the CAFO is going to be, right? To ask them to make an evaluation to determine if the position is still warranted, right? We should be asking this constantly once we have this person, right? I don't think we need to add this language in here, but I think it's fine. Absolutely. We should be asking this person these kinds of requests all the time. Is this position still warranted? Right? Should this be consolidated? I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't think it makes sense to strike an approval of the mayor from up earlier, because I think the goal of these two positions is to have a lot of support and unanimous support, to have support from council as well as the mayor for these two positions. I'd love to hear the thinking on why we should strike an approval of the mayor where we may have a more divisive candidate.
Councilor Bacon.
So, just to clarify, we can ask any of the financial questions that these positions are declared to be responsible for today of all of our department heads within the city. There is nothing restricting us from asking them for any kind of information whatsoever. In terms of, I'm not clear on what your objection is relative to the CAFO making the determination in the amended language.
Counselor,
through the chair
McGrath-Smith?
to Counselor McGrath-Smith, and I don't see where
I think she,
there's a reference to the mayor.
so if you look at the screen, and it has the city council and approval of the mayor, that's where she's referencing. So there,
Oh, for the comptroller?
I'm happy to keep the second change. I would just like to
Yeah, she-
remove where that's struck through. I'd much rather have a
Oh, I just thought we
consensus
were on
candidate.
this.
no, so yeah, she's talking, so she's okay with the bottom part of the whole paragraph. It's just that strike through and approval of the mayor. So she's trying to figure out what is the logic.
Can we allow the original language around approval of the mayor? So these are consensus roles, but keep the change that Jordan has added to the end. I'm happy to do so.
It does make it consistent with the other positions.
What does the original one say?
The original one just says with the confirmation of the city council and approval of
And
the mayor.
approval of the mayor.
So that's the only piece that's
Yeah,
been
they just
struck out there.
they just struck out. So it would
So
only
you
be,
just want to leave it in?
Yeah. But,
So it'd be the
and if we
second
can do
layer.
that, I'm fine with keeping the first original language and making the edit to the end.
so you want to make an amendment, you're going to
Yep.
have to make an amendment.
All right, my motion is, as an amended motion, is to keep the suggested edit at the end, but to reinstate the language and approval of the mayor from the original language.
Under discussion, it was seconded by Councilor Jenny Rivera. And for myself, I would agree to that too. And I also feel like if Councilor Jordan had an issue with that particular strikeout, that when it goes to full council, he'll be sure to
I'm sure.
to make sure to rectify
What are
and
you saying?
explain what the situation is.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So the motion is to motion was made and seconded and to include and approval of the mayor that has striked out in the Kevin Jordan version, but leave it in the original version, and then add in the original version, but keep in Kevin Jordan's version. Prior to the appointment of any comptroller, the CAFO shall make an evaluation to determine if the position is warranted in a full-time, regular basis, or if the position should be consolidated under the duties of the CAFO. On the vote, Councilor Bacon,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley,
Yes.
Councilor McGrath-Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera, yes.
Beautiful.
Wow, we got some progress here, huh?
It doesn't look like there's a lot of changes for a number of pages.
That looks like that's my name spelled wrong right there, that blue. Israel. So I guess this is an edit. The comptroller shall so far may be necessary for the proper performance of their duties have access to all books, documents, and vouchers in the possession of any party whose accounts they authorize.
They are authorized.
They
Just
are.
changing one word.
Okay.
A motion to approve the simple edit.
Second, on the discussion. It's just a simple edit.
Yep.
Okay.
Second.
It's Roman numeral 3 under 2-293.
It's like a Scrivener's error, basically. Yay, subject verb agreement.
So you seconded on the vote, Councilor Reagan,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley, Councilor McGrath-Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
and then Councilor Israel Rivera is a yes. So the is will be striked and it'll be a R, A-R-E. Continue. Contracts exceeding 25,000. Nope. Keep going.
What page next?
He just passed.
I see a change on 18, which is section 2, 131, Director of Internal Audit, which is on my page 18 when I numbered them.
Let's see. Oh, I think you just passed it. That's E. Is there another one on top of that? I think. The Director of Internal Audit. So this is 231E, right? You mentioned.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to approve the edit at paragraph E.
So the Director. Do I hear a second? Well, let me read it first. For you, and then we'll see. The Director of Internal Audit may be removed by the mayor with the approval of the City Council for cause by a 2/3 majority vote of all the members of the City Council. This motion for approval was made by Counselor Bartley. Do I hear a second now that I've read it?
Second.
Counselor Bacon, seconded. Under discussion. Counselor McGrath Smith.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I think that's a city council appointment, so I think that's why Kev had that in there. So why is the mayor involved with that, with a city council appointment? That's all.
Right, it's just like that other one that we
Yeah,
addressed.
pretty simple. And it takes
The
two-thirds,
capital.
takes a two-thirds vote, so,
And that's true for the law department as well.
yeah. Well,
Here's
that's all.
the-
Okay,
That's
thank
all.
you. Now to recognize you, Counselor McGrath Smith.
Thank you, Chair. So I am interested in how this interacts with the ordinance that made clear what the mayor's day-to-day responsibilities were. I actually wondered originally if this language was trying to sort of indicate back to that. That was my initial question.
The question is for.
So maybe we could ask the city solicitor, how does this interact with the ordinance that was created fairly recently that clarified the mayor's responsibilities around being able to discipline, being able to like initiate removal if day-to-day responsibilities were not being met?
If I may.
Let me get City Solicitor Bissonnette, and then.
We wrote it in ordinance, but okay.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah, I would love to hear from you.
Solicitor Bissonnette, give me a second. Counselor Bacon, go ahead.
So,
Wait, hold on. Give me a second. Let Counselor Bacon explain real quick first, and then you can go.
So we wrote that to give the mayor day-to-day,
Yeah.
but not to give him removal authority.
Do you know what the ordinance number is?
I could look it up, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
All right.
Yeah.
And then Solicitor Bissonnette, go ahead. You can go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
thank you. I'm a little confused because I'm thinking the removal is permissible with the approval of the council. And I don't see how that would be changed. This would simply take out the mayor's role here. And I don't think, I think we're at the point where there's a question about how much responsibility and delving into the internal management workings is allowable for the council. Generally, I think the overall structure requires the CEO to move forward with some evidence of cause and then bring it to the council for removal. And almost all of these positions are subject to that provision. So I don't think you'd see unilateral action here. But again, mayor's the man or the woman with the hand on the steering wheel. And so that's who really should be bringing it to your attention. I think there's also, and I'm pretty sure I heard Councilor Bartley just speak to this. The city council has inherent charter power to bring in anybody employed by the city that they want. Department head, street sweeper, school administrator, to discuss what they think is an issue that needs to come before the council. So any misdoings, any type of actions that are taken that are inconsistent with law or policy, certainly the council can call them in, and in many cases, seek removal without waiting for a recommendation from anyone else. I think there's some inherent power that the council often doesn't employ, but could if it wished to.
Thank you. Counselor Bacon?
I believe that was the point I made about being able to request information from any department head. But in this case, I don't see where taking the mayor out of this particular language would prohibit the mayor from communicating with the council. It's not a prohibition on communication, it's a balance of power issue, and we've had many, many discussions about that, but that's what this is about. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff, you were about to say something?
No. Papa just walked in and yeah, sorry.
Oh, all right. So, just on my end, for this particular one, I don't see how, because the city council as a body itself doesn't necessarily interview. So if we don't interview, we don't necessarily fire either.
Well,
We can.
if I may,
Go ahead,
the
Councilor.
city council does appoint the auditor.
Do we interview and fire the auditor?
Yes,
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
So when there's conflict or anything like that, how do we know there's conflict if we don't work with her on a day-to-day?
because we've given the mayor day-to-day operational communication lines and authority, but not removal authority. But we've opened the door of communication purposely in that regard.
So if the mayor's office and the council are at odds, how smoothly does that work, that process?
Well, so I guess you could liken it to the making of sausage. I mean, it's not necessarily that the council and the mayor would be in agreement necessarily relative to the cause. As much as we like to make the analogies of corporations and pretend that there aren't politics in corporations, there's politics in everything that involves people. So an internal auditor has a role that is an interesting and different role from day-to-day crunching of the numbers. They're in there, they might be the one blowing the whistle on something going on in a department. They need to have some protection.
Yes, they do.
Similar to what the city solicitor has, which is why the city solicitor is protected under cause.
So,
And this should, in my view, should be the same.
so you're saying the city solicitor is picked only by the council and
The city's, no, but I'm saying the city solicitor is protected for cause
but here's
and removal.
it still says is protected for cause in a sense. It's just we're striking out.
Right, but we're just saying the mayor can't remove the person.
But and I don't disagree that we're saying that, but the mayor still can't remove the person if we don't approve it as a full council. So I guess that's what I'm trying to understand, right? So like what we're saying is we're still protected, like both sides are protected in a sense. The person that's the auditor and the council, if we don't agree with what's happening, right? Because we have the power to vote it down and say, no, you can't remove this person.
So,
So like I'm trying to understand where it is that it's not a checks and balance, because it kind of reads as a checks and balance for me already.
so the way, if we go back to the other language where we talked about the appointment of the assessor board and those other folks, where we said the CAFO would not be recommending the removal because they're not the appointing authority, same concept here.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I get what you're saying, where it's the same concept, but no, because we don't necessarily work with this person on the day-to-day. And if the mayor works with them on a day-to-day, and this is not, I'm not saying this is what the state of our council is now, but if we're at odds with the mayor and we don't necessarily agree with the mayor, the person could literally not be doing a good job, and the mayor could be reporting it to us, and we don't believe the mayor. And we will continue to have that person not doing a good job because we don't believe the mayor.
Well, and on the other hand, it's not to say that perhaps a person that's a head of a department might not like a certain person and just want to have their own person
No, I understand that, but
and find cause.
but-
And so the appointing authority should be the authority. It shouldn't be that the person has to sit there appointed by us and have to worry that the mayor's wants to get rid of them.
I think that it's still protected because of the council approval piece. But I hear you.
I hear you.
know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I do hear you.
Councilor
It's-
McGrath-Smith, I see, and thank you for the honest, rich debate, right? Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Yes, and I was looking for the ordinance and Municode that you had referred to earlier, Councilor Bacon. So I think maybe that would help me in the context of how these two documents align or don't. Because I think what this is indicating is the mayor, who is closer to the daily work, right, would indicate that this person should be removed. It still has to happen with the approval of the city council. So that, to me, the check is there. The mayor is saying, I think this person should be removed. And the council is saying, yes, we approve, or no, we don't, right? Because this says they may be removed. But then it says, comma, with the approval of the city council for cause. So that, to me, sets it up not as one leads to the other, but one has to happen with the approval of council. It can't happen. So I'm okay with the language as is, but I wish it was clearer.
Clearer in what sense, I guess?
I wish that it named more clearly that the mayor may be the one initiating the removal, but it has to be done with the approval of city council. And ultimately, the council is the appointing power. So, ultimately, while the mayor may be recommending removal, the city council has that authority. So I would just wish the language was tightened up.
City
Well, you can
citizen.
make that as a motion.
I've been trying to think about how to tighten it. What's the
Mr.
right?
Bissonnette, go ahead. Maybe you'll spark an idea.
After the words may be removed upon recommendation of the mayor for cause with the 2/3 majority vote of the city council.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
that
it-
works for me.
So adding it to saying may be removed by the mayor
Mayor moved upon recommendation.
upon recommendation of the city council.
Upon recommendation of the mayor
For cause,
and
with
for,
the approval of the city council.
I might have to, we're gonna have to write that down so I could read it.
Can you repeat what you want the
Yeah, can you repeat it,
sentence to say?
Mike, real quick?
There may be removed, Jeffrey,
Yep.
and upon the recommendation of the mayor, strike out with the approval of the city council.
Okay, it's already kind of struck out there.
Yeah. For cause by a 2/3 majority vote.
Yep.
And how do you want that to read, members?
All the members of this, what it already says there.
yep,
Yep.
yep. I'll second that. Is
Yeah.
that your motion?
That's great.
Okay, so there's a motion, and then it was seconded by Councilor Bacon, that the language is edited to say that auditor may be removed upon the recommendation of the mayor for cause by a 2/3 majority vote of all the members of the city council. There was a second under discussion. No discussion. Vote. Councilor Bacon.
Yes.
Councilor Bartley. Councilor Meg McGrath-Smith.
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
And Councilor Israel Rivera, yes. Passes 5-0.
I see section 2-138, legal counsel, I think is next. Page 20 for me.
So here is section 2-138, legal counsel to the city council and Department of Internal Audit. The Director of Internal Audit shall have the ability to hire outside legal counsel in the event they find it necessary to seek outside advice for the effective administration of the work of the department. In the event that the Director of the Internal Audit finds this is necessary, he or she must make said request for funds to the city council. The line for the contract services will be adequately funded and appropriated by the mayor in the city council budget and overseen by the city council, similarly in the event that the city council finds it necessary. The line that was added was adequately funded, and Councilor McGrath-Smith and then Councilor Reagan.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate the spirit of the line, but I worry that it's not specific enough. What does adequately funded
That's
mean?
say the same thing.
I agree with that concept, but is that specific enough to make sure that it's adequately funded? So I wonder what that means and if there's a way to make that language more clear or stronger.
Thank you, Councilor Bacon.
I also see Solicitor Bissonnette's hand up, and I'm
Well-
not
I
sure.
think that was up from earlier, but I'll check.
Okay.
I'm looking at the rest of it because I don't think it stands independently of the rest of that section.
Okay. Could you
So I just want to look at the whole thing.
Could you scroll down a little more to see if there's more added to that section? Because I think it is. Yeah, necessary to contract with outside counsel due to a conflict that the city solicitor has scraped out. So to outside counsel, the city council shall have contract fund line available for outside legal counsel from services. Both such requests, funding of outside legal counsel shall only be approved by the city council after determining there is a conflict which necessitates the need of outside. So how do we determine that there is a conflict? The need for outside legal counsel, the approval of such expenditures, 2/3 majority of all members of the city council, 2/3 scratch. And then in the event, added in the event the additional appropriations for outside legal counsel are needed, the mayor shall not unreasonably withhold such funds.
Yeah, so that goes, I think, into the funding of whatever activity it would be and shows that it requires a majority of the council to see the conflict that would necessitate such an action.
Okay.
I think the reason that's written there is because historically we have been told we have no recourse.
I understand that piece. But I have to say that a lot of it sounds really vague to me. And it doesn't, like, even if we take out adequately funded and that was added in, and it says the line for contract services will be appropriated by the mayor and the city. It's no different than saying adequately funded because you're not saying how much. You're not saying how much.
Right, because it's an unknown.
Yeah, it's an unknown
It's
number.
an unknown.
So, like, just adding in the adequately funded is just
Yeah.
adding words in. And no disrespect, I'm just trying to figure
No,
out.
no, and I mean, it's
Fine,
hard
let's
to be precise about an unknown.
Due to and then the piece where it says the city council should have contract fund lines available outside legal counsel. I don't have a problem between the difference counsel and services. I know there's a difference because they could get you a paralegal and that would be a service, right? It's no different than an actual lawyer, that which my understanding would be counsel, both such as counsel services. There's Counselor McGrath Smith.
Thank you. And this is to the committee. Does anyone remember what the, in the budget, what the line item was for outside counsel that we agreed to? Was it 10,000? Was it 15? Like, what was that number? Because I honestly, while in most cases, I'm very much for creating a document that is universal, can live, for a long time. This strikes me as a monetary value that needs to be tied to a schedule like we do for a salary. Like, I think it makes way more sense for us to say up to $15,000 and be clear, because otherwise it's going to become potentially a conflict where we will say, no, we think adequately funded means 20,000 or 10,000, and the mayor, whoever it is, says, I think it means 5,000.
It means 3,000,
and we say,
right.
well, we're going to use our outside counsel, which we now can't afford, in order to negotiate that result, and we won't be able to afford it. Like, it strikes me as I don't want to put ourselves in a position where this is too, feckless.
Thank you. Counselor Bacon.
Thank you. So I think it is clear that should the council be taking an action such as this, we're already in some kind of a conflict with the mayor. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be seeking outside counsel. And so I think some of the proposals that Councilor Jourdain has made that are currently tabled in city council are aimed at trying to clarify that all or nothing interpretation of the charter, which creates the circumstance in which the council is basically told they can't do anything about anything. So except as a private citizen and
Right.
go find yourself $30,000. That's basically the message. But it's,
Does anyone else think it makes sense to name an amount so that otherwise it doesn't become this argument of I think this means adequately or the mayor thinks this means adequately and then the council does not end up with the funding it needs?
well,
I'm
I
just
think
tempted
no
to
matter.
put in a number.
If I.
No, go ahead.
Through the chair. I think no matter what we write, at the end of the day, the only one who can appropriate money is the mayor. The city council cannot. So it really doesn't matter what we put in here, because if we're in that circumstance, it will be a matter of conflict, and there will be many opinions, and there will be many interpretations of what is adequate, what is the role of the city solicitor versus an
I
outside.
guess you could even taking the approach of changing the wording from adequate to saying whatever the going rate would
Market
be,
rate?
yeah, whatever the rate is for a lawyer or for a certain amount of hours, and we just map out the hours and do that, and you don't have to put a number on it, but
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like you got to give us whatever it is, because then it's true if we're saying adequate. Like in the mayor's mind, he could say, well, 7,000 is adequate, and for us, we're saying no, 15,000 is adequate. So it's just saying like, how about we list out what it is what we want. Like if it's a contracted outside service, then whatever it costs for a contracted outside service, just like outline it that way in a sense, so that way when we ask for it, like he knows that's what it's going to cost. Whatever that number is, we want that service. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 15, it could be 20,000. Don't matter. We need that service, and you got to provide it. So
Well,
I guess
as a theoretical, you could put in language that says there will be an annual appropriation for outside counsel for the city council, made in each budget. And then you don't say how much, because you don't know. But every year, then that becomes an issue in a public hearing, and there's feedback given, and then we end up with the budget.
what I'm saying is I wouldn't be able to, the way it is now, I wouldn't be able to vote on it and just say, yeah, I'm okay with that, because to me, it's not enough. There would have to be more, and it'd have to be a little bit more clarification with regards to not only the funding thing, but also like the conflict piece. Like I understand that like some of us will be at conflict with the mayor, but not all of us. So it's like trying to figure out what dictates that, right?
Well, it's if it's a legal conflict. I mean, there's a political disagreement, but then there's a matter of law, and, you know, that's where you might get into it. I think it's only come up, since I've been on the council once or twice,
Okay. So
but it has come up.
the motion now is then that's my understanding, or has one been made? I don't think.
I will make a motion to approve the language as is. I just wish that it was clearer or stronger.
Do I hear a second? Under discussion?
It may be something we return to.
It could be something that comes back, if anything. On the vote, Councilor Bacon,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley,
No.
Councilor McGrath-Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera. No, it passes. The language passes 3-2, with the edits made by Councilor Jordan.
There's a small error, just a little Scribner's error, if we could approve that change.
And that's on.
230, section 2, 311D, the said is being removed, changed to the.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I will second it. Under discussion, this is a Scribner's error. Anybody have anything else to add? So we're changing or striking out the said and just leaving the. On the vote, Councilor Bacon,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley, Councilor McGrath-Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes, that passes 5-0.
Section 2, 331A.
Yeah, okay, so this is the present purchasing director shall hold their office during the term for which they have been appointed.
Scrivener's error.
yes, Scrivener's
Changing
error.
personnel to purchasing. It's in the purchasing section, not the personnel section.
So motion, can I get a motion to make the edit?
So moved.
The motion is, and then it's seconded?
Second.
Okay, and then under discussion, none? You haven't found it, Counselor Reagan?
I'm just looking for where we are. For some reason, I'm not seeing it, but yes, it's just the changing the name.
Yeah, I don't want to move on till you're okay with it. So, okay, so
Somewhere near.
on the vote, Counselor
Oh,
Reagan,
I see it now, yes.
Counselor Bartley, Counselor McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Counselor Israel Rivera, yes, 5-0. That edit passes.
The salary scale.
Where's that at? Yes. Okay, grade 13 and 14. What's different? Okay, grade 14. Oh, he combined 13 and 14. He combined, grade 13 and 14 was combined. On the original sheet, they're separated. There's comptroller, minimum 78. Go up real quick. I guess they're not separated. So what, go ahead, Counselor Bacon, just in case.
So, this change is not separating treasurer collector from this document, but it is saying that the grade should not be higher than the comptroller position, in that the responsibilities and the duties are not higher.
The comptroller position doesn't exist.
I really wish that Kelly was on because I want to ask her why
Why
this was set up as grade 14 instead of 13. I mean, I know that all of
And
these
this is for
salary
treasurer collector?
ranges were created based on all those documents we got, where she did the research of looking at these similar positions regionally, and it may be that regionally treasurer collectors are paid at a higher rate than comptrollers, and that's why she's done it this way. I don't know.
Right, but if I may.
Counselor Bacon?
Thank you. I mean, the other thing that we've done in here, which I completely disagree with, is we've taken payroll out from under the treasurer collector and put it under the controller. So I don't see the higher level or greater work under that role.
But if there's no comptroller, then it would be under the treasurer collector. Like, I think,
Well, if.
it's not necessarily an if. We literally just voted in that there is not going to be a comptroller unless the CAFO decides it, recommends it to us. So, like, technically there isn't a comptroller until we actually get a CAFO. And if we don't get a CAFO, which is an if, then none of that is existent, and the treasurer collector assumes all the roles.
Well,
With the
except if
mayor.
I may, right
Right,
now,
Councilor
the
Lee.
only thing that has been voted by the public is to appoint a treasurer. This treasurer collector is a mechanism of our own doing. What the voters have voted is for us to appoint a qualified treasurer. And I'm a little concerned that we have not taken any steps to accomplish that. Every single document that we're looking at is treasurer collector. We've taken no steps to implement treasurer, because I know there is a desire on the part of,
So I would push
Council to-
back a little bit on that, because there's been a lot of work on trying to reorganize the municipal finance. We've taken advantage of this moment to be able to try to organize or reorganize our finance department in a way that's more effective and efficient. And in that process, we found that a treasurer collector would be more efficient than actually hiring a treasurer or appointing a treasurer and having the collector as two separate positions. And combining both of them to become one would be more effective financially, and it'll be efficiently with regards to how the manages, the duties are and all the stuff that they're doing. So it's not to say that we're not working on appointing a treasurer. It's just that we're trying to take the time to, I guess, assess and plan strategically how best to move forward, because we won't have an opportunity like this for a long time again, right? To be able to reorganize in a way that's actually more efficient and productive for not only the person in the role, but for the city overall and some of the roles and responsibilities.
Not necessarily. I mean, that is what we're debating. And you could have had me with we're making a savings right up until you added the comptroller. Because we would have had a savings that you could argue for with combining treasurer collector and doing the CAFO, but now it's loaded up with the comptroller too. So it's just a big government,
But the thing is that the comptroller
it's a
doesn't.
big beautiful bill, is
No,
it?
the comptroller doesn't exist though. That's just it's.
But
So
it's in here.
it's in there as
here.
part of the planning
It
strategically.
exists, the structure's there.
It's not. It's there if it's warranted, right, in the future. Originally, you're correct. The plan was to be able to have a comptroller and work through the process. And listening to to you guys and the other colleagues, it's obvious that we're not ready for a comptroller just to come through and do all this stuff. And I don't necessarily disagree with you guys, but there's a piece of it where there's nothing wrong with planning to have something in case we get through that process and we can have it. So if we're planning to have it and have it there, that's cool. But this is a real position. Treasurer collector is a real thing. This is happening or it's not happening. And if it doesn't happen, then we have problems. So comptroller is not a problem. Like, we could talk about it all we want, throw it out there all the time. That is not a problem. It is not a real problem. Treasurer collector and treasurer, that is a real problem that we have to solve. So like saying back and forth all this other stuff, like to me, it's not. And if we end up combining both and paying the person the same thing, like, how are we expecting the person that was just only doing one role not to do two roles and still get paid the same thing?
What do you mean paying them the same thing?
If the collector moves, whoever's the collector now, if they move on to becoming the treasurer collector, right? If we combine the positions and they end up becoming treasurer collector, they're taking on two roles, not just the one role they had before. And we're keeping them in the same
But
range.
I don't think they're at 13 now.
They're
I think
11.
they're at 12 or at
They're
11.
They're in 11, 12? Oh,
Right, so,
Okay.
yeah.
so then the 13 is an upgrade regardless.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense. Councilor McGrath-Smith. Thank you for pointing that out, Councilor Bacon.
I think if this entire restructuring moves forward, I'm happy to make the motion for this to move to 13. I think if the rest of the organization doesn't occur and the treasurer collector's role includes all of the, not just treasurer collector here, but also effectively the entire CAFO job, then there's no way we're going to hire, no one will be like, sure, I'll take that for $111,000.
That would be a different job then.
Right. But I'm just saying, if this moves forward in the context of the organization of all these other roles and how we've divided things up, I'm fine with it becoming 13 and lowering it from 14 to 13 to make it the same as the Director of Internal Audit and the Comptroller. But if this doesn't move forward and we end up having to look at a Plan B,
Well, then it's a whole
Right.
different discussion.
I'm just saying we would need to really relook at what that salary range is. So I'll make that motion to approve the shift from 14 to 13.
Second, on the discussion, we already had this discussion. Then on the vote, Councilor Reagan,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley, Councilor McGrath-Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera, yes. So the
And I would make a
Jordan edits
recommendation
go
to
through.
move this forward to council as amended by this body to full council with recommendation.
Do I hear a second? Second on the discussion, Councilor Reagan, is that your hand raised?
I would remind the committee that we have about 15 items that relate to this tabled in city council right now. And if you move this forward, and then we have those 15 items that are all intertwined with this. I mean, I don't know, but there's gonna be a lot of discussion on all those matters out of charter and rules. I don't know how muddy you wanna make the waters.
I'm gonna be honest, ain't got nothing to do with me. I do my job on ordinance committee.
I'm sorry,
I said I do my job on ordinance committee.
I'm just saying, well.
Thank you
Not
for
the
that.
only committee.
Thank you for that, Councilor Bartley.
I would, and I'll make the motion at the appropriate time, but I'll motion a table in committee because we don't have the written, edited copy in front of us. And how many times has it come back to haunt us when it brings back to full city council? So what you're doing is just doing another little, just a maneuver forward because you feel like it. You're gonna find out an error by doing so, you're gonna lose at full city council because you're not gonna have the votes to pass it. So if you rationally review it in total as edited in the written word, additional thoughts or not may come to mind. That's why it's prudent just to take this one step at a time. Thank you.
Thank you,
Motion?
Councilor.
Well, and we have a motion on the table, so I'd rather just defeat that and,
Councilor
or
McGrath.
not, whatever.
Well,
Your hand was raised.
It was my motion seconded.
It was
second,
Councilor Jenny Rivera. That was under discussion.
I just wasn't sure. I'm not sure I heard it.
So you're gonna wait to see if this one passes, Bartley? Councilor
Well,
Bartley?
I
Or you
hope
gonna-
it
we need
doesn't.
legal
Are you-
form no
are you-
matter what happens.
Are you-
Well, yeah, we don't have legal form, it's rushing, so, but boy, let's just vote for it, whatever.
I'm just trying to understand if you.
Well, I guess
if-
my
if you
motion would be
made
to put into, I'll make a motion, put into legal form, send it back to this committee for one final review. That's my motion.
Second.
On the discussion, no other discussion.
Just underneath the current process. I mean, we've been looking at this for months, and I agree.
Not
Fine.
the edited version.
No, but also, you know, we're gonna keep working with this document, and if this comes out with legal form, and folks find something that they want to raise and say, actually, I have this concern, I didn't see this before, or I want to make sure the Scrivener's error is fixed, then we'll fix it in council.
Thank you. So, next full council meeting is next Tuesday, right?
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
sir.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we have
right,
executive
Wednesday, sir.
session at 6.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun meeting.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let's take the vote.
All right, so we'll take the vote.
On the secondary motion.
On the, so yeah, we gotta start with Mr. Bartley's motion, and that is to send it, to table it until we get legal language for the next meeting, review it. It was seconded by Councilor Bacon. On the vote, Councilor Bacon,
Yes?
Councilor Bartley,
sir.
Councilor McGrath Smith,
No.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
No.
Councilor Israel Rivera. I'm gonna say yes, just for the sake of, I know that if we go to full council, it's gonna be nonsense as well. So I'll host another meeting, and I'm sorry, but it makes sense for me to go through that process and make everybody happy, even though everybody's not gonna ever be happy.
Do we know when our next ordinance meeting will be, where we'll take it up?
the
I only ask because in terms of timeline, we do need to make sure that we are moving our home rule petitions to the
Yes.
state legislature, and also need to make sure that we're resolving items
Yeah,
before that.
my plan is 2 weeks from today. That would be, I believe, the 24th.
I'm not sure we're allowed to have a meeting on Rosh Hashanah,
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
only because it's a holiday. So we could defer to Jeffrey to ask if we're allowed to meet on that day.
Jeff,
I don't think it's a city holiday.
are we allowed to meet? Is it a holiday that day that we are not able to meet?
I don't know of any restriction on holding a meeting that day, to be honest. I mean, other than like city holidays where we would already be off, I don't know a restriction on
No.
Okay.
holding meetings on non-city holiday days.
So what I would say is that we'll plan for that day, and if it comes up that we can't, then I'll have to reschedule of a meeting, maybe sooner if possible.
Motion to take up item 2?
Oh, second, sure.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need my agenda now. There we go. That was long. Item 2, filed by Counselor McGee. Order that the position of Chief Administrative and Financial Officer be created and added to Schedule A. This was referred back to committee on June 30th, 2025. I think for me, it's something that has to move along in order with the municipal finance just documentation. I mean, it would be nice to be able to create it now, but I know there is opposition, so I'm at the will of the body right now.
I'll make a motion to table it till we get the legal form back on the Modernization Act.
Under discussion, Councilor McGrath Smith.
You can't, it's not debatable.
Oh, it's not because you tabled it?
Oh,
Well, not everybody didn't
I'll
vote.
withdraw
Yeah, just-
I'll withdraw the motion
Yeah,
if people want to discuss it,
Yeah,
but
we
if
always
a
do
motion to table is
Yeah, we always do that.
debatable.
Okay.
I'll withdraw it.
Okay then, perfect. So then Councilor McGrath Smith.
I think that it's its own item. So I would just say that I'm more than comfortable looking at, we've already looked at the job description and we've already looked at the salary schedule. And it was referred out of this committee and then referred back. So I don't have any issue with moving it forward. We've moved it forward before. That's where I stand. I also see Jeffrey's hand
Yeah.
up. I don't know.
He
if
just
that's
put it
for
up
purpose.
now. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to, just because I know it's been out of committee and back a couple of times, just a recollection that this was reported out of committee as complied with before because it was seen as companion with the Modernization Act.
So if it's complied with, then why did it get sent back?
Right.
Because everything was sent back together.
Oh. So just
Is
so
in it.
so to be
Just
clear,
so you have that reminder.
so to be clear, Jeff,
Thanks.
on what you just said is that it was deemed complied with because it is already through the whole Municipal Modernization Act.
Because it was being passed forward with the Modernization Act. So logically, you'd want to keep it with the Modernization Act that's been tabled.
Okay. Okay. So
I'll renew my motion to table.
okay. You want to hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Item 2 is tabled.
Motion to take up item 3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Under discussion. Item 3 was filed.
Motion to pass, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is.
Yeah, let's just pass it.
Yeah.
Right?
I was gonna say that we've already. So this is order of the
Have all the
Personnel
legal
Department and Law Department. Jeff, is all the legal forms here? I'm sorry, I haven't been able to.
Well,
Yeah.
My motion is make sure it's on legal form.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got it.
it's
right.
attached.
Okay.
This
so-
was just changing the name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my motion is to approve the legal form and send it to full city council.
Second.
Okay, now under discussion, no discussion on the votes. Councilor Bacon.
Yes.
Councilor Bartley. Councilor McGrath Smith.
Yes.
And Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes, this one passes 5-0.
Motion to take 4 off the table?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just under, oh, sorry.
No, under discussion, Councilor Bartley.
Well, the maker's not here.
Yep.
So,
I would be
I
cool with tabling.
I mean, if I had my way, I would give a leave to withdraw. But, you know, out of courtesy to a veteran council like this, there's no way I'm gonna do that. So my motion would be to table it.
Second,
And I can't, okay,
unless the chair has,
I don't have anything to say to that. I don't have anything. So all in favor then?
Aye?
aye.
Aye. Okay, so this means this one's tabled until next meeting.
Yeah, can I make a point of order, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
When you have a moment, just reach out to Kev on this matter.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna recommend the
Nah,
table.
no way.
If there's nobody's here, I don't
I
like,
can't do it. I'd never do it.
even if I don't agree
I
with
wouldn't do it to
it.
any counselor.
Yeah.
Because it was done to me when I first started by somebody.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's not
It
cool.
sucked. Okay? So motion, take number 5 off the table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 5, filed by Vacant and Jordan, order that the city council establish minimum eligibility requirements such as a 4-year degree in accounting, finance, and 3-year successful management experience for appointment as treasurer prior to the initial appointment if voters approve the appointment. This has been tabled many times. Councilor Vacant?
Thank you. So I have brought it up more than once that it's fine if we want to put forth a proposal for a treasurer collector, but we should, as a parallel process, be moving forward on the appointment of a treasurer, because we don't know what the future will bring. So we have created a position for treasurer collector, but to my knowledge, we had one draft, February of 2024, because we were trying to be proactive, to add to section 2-102, duties generally for the city treasurer. And we had had some discussion that the city treasurer shall have a bachelor's degree in accounting, finance, business, and then I can't even read that. But, and then we had also added in that a master's level degree in finance / business was preferred, and that an individual with successful, significant experience as a municipal treasurer can substitute experience for the bachelor's degree. Does everybody remember this discussion? It was so long ago now.
I do. Yep.
But my thinking was that we should have language that reflects the will of the voters. And then if we subsequently or separately or prior to move something else forward, fine. But right now, the only thing that we have voted for us is treasurer. And our obligation after the vote was to set up criteria, because our whole argument to the public was we have to have a qualified treasurer. So we have to set up what those qualifications would be.
All right. So, we've had this in the committee for a while. We've tabled it. We've had the conversations. I have nothing against creating the position and the role and all the requirements. I guess for me, it's just seeing whatever it is that our HR department comes up with regards to that. And I mean, we've had the conversation. She's not currently here. We don't have something in front of us. But whenever it is, I think maybe it's just having the conversation, or having Kelly, or our director, send us a description, and with that description, we start like mapping that out. So that way we have that. I mean, we've had the conversation multiple times. There should already be some sort of foundation of the description of what it is, because we've, as you mentioned.
We have been provided, on February 10th, we were provided with the draft ordinance language for city treasurer qualifications.
I don't have that now, though, is what I'm saying. So that's, right. I'm not
But
saying.
I'm just saying, and so then we modified that draft ordinance.
I
And
remember
then
that.
it was tabled, and we never got anything else back.
Right, so
Because
what-
we haven't taken it up
right.
again till now.
So what I'm saying is that to have that document for the next meeting, so when we chat, we can actually go and finalize the document.
Okay,
'Cause
so
we
my
can't do that
motion
now.
would be to refer it to legal and personnel to come back with a draft to meet
Yep.
the vote relative to the appointment of the treasurer.
Second.
Second, under discussion. Anyone else? No? Vote. Councilor Bacon?
Yes.
Councilor Bartley?
Yes.
Councilor McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
And Councilor Israel Rivera, the CS passed 5-0 to send for this to become legal language, and to send to our director of HR so that they can come to us with the draft language that we've already began working on in the past.
Now, I think we need a pay scale too, right?
And
A
to,
job description with
With a pay scale recommendation.
with the pay and include the pay scale recommendation.
Thanks, that was my amendment, I guess.
Okay, so entertain a motion to take up item,
Motion take up item 6.
Second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 6 was filed by Councilor McGee. Order that the city council amend ordinance 2-69 by striking section G2 from the ordinance. That section states no employee of the city shall simultaneously serve on the city council during their time of employment. This one I put on the order because it kind of falls in line with some of the stuff that got brought up throughout the municipal, or, well, that was in charters and rules. For me, it was never, I mean, not that it wasn't ever taken up, but it's something that we got to talk about, hash out, just based off of my own personal experiences and other than some of the others that I've heard in the past. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's 8:36. I don't think we have time to have a conversation. And what I mean by a conversation, like a dialogue around this particular item, because I know there are different feelings on the table regarding whether or not someone can hold quote unquote 2 positions on the city. So I'm okay with this being tabled for now until we get to a point where we can have more time to actually have dialogue around it. Councilor Bartley, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, you want to have dialogue, then I would just say refer this to legal, get a legal opinion on it, and put in the legal language, okay? So just putting it on the agenda isn't getting us anywhere. So
So
just send it to the law department. Can you do this? If it's allowable under state law, fine, and put it into legal language. I think that's all we're doing.
Well,
I mean, I think we've done something here to try to keep conflicts from forming. So that's all this was about. But if that's not what you think this is about, then let's get legal language on it. Let's get legal language and let's get a legal opinion on it.
I
That's all.
appreciate that. I appreciate that, Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. So I have a little different perspective on it. I mean, this was filed 4 years ago by a counselor who hasn't been on the council for years, and it's an old stale order, and if somebody wants to file it, to me, this should be given leave to withdraw. He's not here to talk about why he filed it. Somebody else should file a new order if we want to look at this again. That's my take on it.
So just, I'm here to kind of take it up, and I'm willing to take it up and move it forward. And I think I know why he filed it and what the intention was behind filing it. And originally, I think the trust was that the council would be able to take it up during that time while it was a hot topic. But it took a while for it to come along, which is fine. It happens a lot in city government and ordinance. But I'm totally, go ahead, Councilor Bartley.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
And I'm not being contrary to my friend, but I vigorously oppose what was just said. And I hope all of us can at least respect what other counselors file. Quite often we don't. It frustrates me, and I've heard it so many times in this body, that we're going to let legislation proposed by elected officials just expire because it wasn't taken up or wasn't acted on. That's just so darn unfair, and that's so undemocratic. Either vote for it or not vote for it, but just because a person's not here anymore, that is really disappointing. And that's been said so many times by so many counselors all around this room, not by me.
On both sides.
Never by me. So either vote for it or don't vote for it. Read the words, and it's not like this counselor vanished into thin air. Go ask him. Okay, so that's not the way to do business in a democratic society. So that should be stricken forever. I hope you all are conscious enough to respect when other counselors, whether you like the counselor or not, at least take a vote on it. Okay, you want to give it a leave to withdraw? Fine, give it a leave to withdraw. But just to say, because the person's not here, I don't think that's fair. So I'd rather just, I got the counsel, I think I got the floor.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
you do.
It's a bummer, I know that.
You do.
It's a bummer. So I would just say, my motion is gonna be, because you're just gonna bring it up again, my motion is to send this to the law department, get a legal opinion, and have it come back. That's my motion.
Here, a second. Under discussion, Councilor Bacon, sorry. I've been doing that all night.
It's late.
I'm sorry.
So, with all due respect, I will make a point that the city council voted this year that any orders in the jacket at the end of this term are gone. So there is no disrespect. if this order's sitting in the jacket at the end of this term, it's gone, unless the city councilor was sitting here to keep it alive. There's nothing undemocratic about it. The whole city council voted on this rule. So, note to self, we all voted to change that rule this year.
Yeah, but that's not what we've all been practicing, if that's the case, because I've taken up orders from Will, I've taken up orders from
Right,
everyone.
we haven't gotten to
Right,
the
so-
end of the term
So
yet.
we're not gonna.
That's all I'm saying.
Because we're not gonna, all right.
I'm just making
No,
the point.
Okay, thank you.
When we get to the end of the term, I'm not arguing your point.
Okay, no, all right, thank you.
No,
So on the-
not at all.
On the vote to send it to legal for legal language for the next meeting.
Well, for legal opinion.
The legal opinion, my bad, I'm sorry, I appreciate that. The legal opinion, from legal, for next meeting, we're gonna go on the vote. Counselor Bacon,
Yes.
Counselor Bartley, Counselor McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
And Counselor Israel Rivera.
It's for a
Yes.
legal opinion.
Yes, for a legal opinion for the next meeting. Thank you, it passed 5-0 for that. Now, entertain the final motion.
To adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, I hear a second. All in favor? Yes. Good night, everyone.
Good night.